Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Brave Kids Art Club. My name is Brad and today is yet another beautiful day for drawing, so let's jump right into it and figure out which animal we are going to draw. The animal we're drawing today is the tallest of all the land animals. They are covered in spots and they have bluish purple tongues. Did you guess what it is? You got it. We are drawing a giraffe today. So let's make sure we have everything we need and let's get started. All right, so to start, we need to make sure we have a clean sheet of paper. We do sketching before we do anything every time we draw. So I'm gonna bring out my pencil that's sharpened and make sure I have an eraser handy. And then once we figured out and we're comfortable with the sketch we've done, we're gonna use a black or a dark pen or marker to do our outlines. And then at the very end, we are going to bring out our markers and do some coloring. And this one's gonna be fun because we're gonna do lots of spots. If you wanna put spots on your giraffe, they do have lots and lots of spots, so that should be fun. All right, so let's start with our sketch. Okay, so let's start with the main body shape. Now, normally, I guess you could get away with, we can get away with an oval, I think. We're gonna have to do a lot of changes to it, but we can start with an oval. And notice how I'm trying to move it a little bit, I don't know, trying to keep it in the middle-ish because we're gonna have to leave a lot of room for the tall neck and the tall legs. So let's say this head's gonna probably be somewhere up here. So I'm gonna draw a couple lines right here. Move this out of my way. Draw a couple lines so I can see how high up I want that. Yeah, I mean, that might be a little too big for my giraffe. Maybe I'll move that in a little bit. And then I gotta put the head up here. So let's get a couple lines coming out of here and we'll refine these a little bit more so it looks more like a giraffe. But let's get the head. So from here, I'm going to, they kind of have a triangular head. So you kind of have like this triangle shape for the head. Now we're gonna do a lot of fixing up on this, but that'll maybe give me the main shape that I want to go with. And then let's see, do I have enough room for the legs? We'll kind of have that hind leg there. And I'm going to kind of go down. Let me just draw a line really quick just to see how tall my legs should be. That feels pretty good. So if I had a front leg, the back leg here, that feels pretty good. Okay, so I've just kind of done that because I was really worried about fitting this in the space. Now let's talk about the right lines here to make this work. Okay, now that we have the main body, let's refine this body shape just a little bit. So it kind of goes more like this. Now that we have where the body's supposed to be, let's do a line right here, but kind of go up a little bit. Does that make sense? We're gonna kind of have it go up a little bit, and we're gonna have it round off in the back. Kind of go back here, and it's gonna come back. You can even draw kind of a straight line right here. Just round off that corner. That's going to be their bottom. And then they do have a little hump right here. It's kind of actually bigger hump that they have right here. And that's where their shoulder blade is. So similar to when we drew, what did we draw that had the big shoulder blade? Oh, a moose. A moose had that big shoulder muscle. And that's what we're, same thing. Has that big shoulder blade right there. So we'll incorporate that bump. All right, so if I start up here on the head, I'm actually gonna do like a really stretched out S. So I'm gonna kind of go like this and then bring it back. So really stretched out S. So let's do the same S, we'll just follow it down here. I'm gonna cut in a little bit, not so thick. Just do that. Yeah. So why do they have such long necks? I mean, you notice that they have super long necks. It seems kind of awkward and not really sure why they would need such a long neck. Actually, I'm going to make it a little thicker while I'm explaining it. So I'm just going to make that a little bit thicker. But they have those long necks for multiple reasons. They actually, I mean, one of the weirder reasons is they fight with them. They smack necks against each other and they can do a lot of damage. That's how they can fight, or they can protect themselves. They usually try to use their feet though because they're so high up. But their necks are really long too because it helps them reach up into the trees and get the food that they like. So they like to eat, leaves and twigs and things off of different types of trees. They're in Africa is where they live. And so when they do that, they have that big long neck so they can reach it all. All right, let's actually move this. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna make the jaw underneath. So it's gonna be like a little U shape. You see that? A little U shape right there. Let's see. Yeah, their nose kind of goes out a little bit. I don't know if you've seen one in real life, but I've seen them and they have a long nose and they actually have a long tongue we'll talk about. They have really cool tongues. I'm going to do a little smile right here. A little smile on that shape. So I'm just rounding off that corner and it gets pretty small right here. And then with this little, the bottom of that U right there, I'm just going to have it go back up and kind of meet up underneath there for the bottom part of their mouth. And then we'll draw a little nostril there for their nose. And let's put their eye right here. Let's get the eye in there. A little circle there. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna add the little horns. I guess I don't even think they're actually horns. I'm not sure what those are on the top of their head. You know, a lot of times people draw them with a big circle right there. You could draw a circle if you want, but they kind of have like this little, let's do this. It kind of just rounds off up there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna probably just do a few little lines, make it, because it's kind of got little tufts of hair on the top. But I guess the best guess is that it was, you know, different things like deer and things have antlers, and this is kind of like where the antlers maybe started. So maybe previous, like years, thousands and thousands or millions of years ago, this animal used to have antlers. I'm not really sure. All right, there we go. Let's put an ear back there. So it's kind of a leaf shape. I'm just going to leave it a little open. Then I'm going to erase. I'll probably erase the lines on the inside there. Oh, maybe I should add the pupil on here. What should we have them looking at? Maybe we'll have them, well, they're definitely going to be looking down at whatever they're looking at because they're so tall. So we'll draw a little pupil right there. I guess big pupil to make it look cuter. Looking down, maybe a hyena it's got to stomp on because it's trying to attack it. They're pretty scary, and I bet they're pretty strong because they're so big. But those long, skinny legs there, they can do a lot of damage. Let's draw the front here. We're going to kind of just follow. We don't have to follow that exactly, but we'll kind of use that as a guide. And we're going to go down. We're going to bring this back a little bit underneath. See how I'm going back a little bit? Let's do this. Going back. And then I'm going to do a line right here. Straight down next to it. And then we'll do this little for the front legs. Okay, so we're starting to build the leg. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit and not do all the different parts of the leg because one, it's not that it's difficult. It's just that it doesn't look exactly how I want it to look. I feel like in my mind they're just straight, long, thin legs, but when I look at an actual giraffe's legs, there's a little bit more complex than that, but I think we can simplify it a little bit to make our lives just a little bit easier and to make it kind of drive home the point that they have very thin legs. Let's see. Especially for how big they are. So I'm going to do these lines like right here. Does that need to be a little bit lower? Maybe. Maybe these don't quite go so long, but let's figure, yeah, that's probably pretty good. I'm going to draw a little line right here. Sometimes I draw a line to make sure I know where the bottom is, where the ground is. So it's going to be leaning back a little bit right there. There we go. And I'm going to draw a little line for their hoof. There we go. That's good. And I draw that little circle in the middle as the joint where their knee is. And then I just erase the middle part. So for the next one, you can do the same thing, right? So we'll draw a line down here. We're going to draw another circle right in here for the joint to kind of work as a guide. And I'm going to have this leg go forward. Try to keep it the same thickness as this one. And there. And then what I do, I got to erase that middle part. Okay, so now let's do the back legs here. So I'm going to have this back leg come in. Is that far enough? Yeah. Okay, let's do this. We're going to have that back leg kind of come in. I drew that a little bit too far back. So let's do that shape again like we did right up here. We'll mimic that. Go back down here. Mimic means to copy. So we'll copy that, what we did before. Let's go straight down, and we'll stop right there. We'll come back a little bit. Just for the back legs are going to be a little bit different. And then we're going to do a little line right here. So then these will kind of start looking the same width as these ones right here. There we go. Got that back leg. The back leg is kind of important to draw like that because it is so different. than just like a straight line than these front legs. It might look kind of funky if you don't. So that's why I'm kind of giving a little bit more attention to detail on the back leg. There's always a little bit more going on right here near the hooves. So if you want to make it really accurate, you can go and look at what they look like and draw it more accurate to what the, because like right here it kind of goes off and looks a little bit different. I'm just saying, don't hold me accountable if you don't know what a giraffe's foot looks like in the future because of this drawing. I'm liking that. I like the look of that. So it's kind of leaning forward. You can see all the legs. Now I'm going to make sure I give the belly a little, refine that belly a little bit. Oh, I kind of got a little bit of a chunkier giraffe, and that's okay. These legs might be a little short too. Are they short? Maybe we work on the tail and then we talk about it again. Maybe we do that. Let's do this little tail. They got a long tail coming back here. And I'm going to draw like a little leaf shape on the bottom, or an upside down teardrop for the tail. There we go. Hanging down in the back. I think maybe that neck's too long, and that's what I'm kind of getting hung up on. And if that's the case, if you need to put your legs a little bit longer, you can always add that down here and make them just a little bit longer so it doesn't feel so weird. And if that's the case, you might want to do a little bit with their moving their knees down a little bit. And I can do that like that. Doesn't have to be super clean right now because we're going to be going through some edits as we draw it. So there we go. Okay, so they're just a little bit longer. I'm going to erase some of those extra lines. And it feels a little bit better because sometimes the neck looked almost just way too long. But they do have super, super long necks. And, I feel like they also use them to help them see really far off so they can see predators coming, which is probably really handy. And they got great eyesight. They do have great eyesight too. Cool. So what I just added right here was this extra line, and that's just like the mane on the back. Just like you have on a horse, they have all that hair around on their neck, and like zebras and things. Giraffes have it too. So I'm gonna add that there, and usually we'll probably add with the pen. We'll just add some lines, but we don't need to do that right now. Like we just don't even need to put all the spots on there because the spots will be a little bit time consuming, and we can just do that with the coloring. Not only do the spots help them camouflage, but they also help them cool and heat their body, which is a whole lesson on its own, but that's something else that those spots are for, which is pretty cool. All right, so are we good? We good to keep going? I think I'm ready to keep going. I'm going to go on now to do my marker here for the outline. Now, if there's anything else you want to add, maybe you want to add the other horn because they have two of them. Maybe you have the long tongue coming out, grabbing some tree branches. That's why they have that big long tongue. It's like, I think it come out to be like 20 inches long sometimes. And it helps them grip onto the trees, the twigs and things, and rip the leaves off. And like I said, those tongues are like a bluish purple color. They're really cool looking. Ooh, let's get that back leg. Sometimes the legs can be a little tedious, meaning a little bit difficult, take a little while. So if you find that you're having a really hard time getting those legs right, just like we did on the llama, just doing straight lines, making them really long, gets the idea across too. We all know it's still a giraffe. It's just fun sometimes to make it look more accurate to what the actual giraffe looks like, and I like trying to be as accurate as I can with still making it my own. So if you feel like you don't want to go and do all those little details on there because you think it'll look better the way that you'd like to do it, then by all means, you do it the way that you would like to do it. You're the artist. You are calling the shots for your artwork. All right, we're going to go here. Kind of go around and see how I get that little joint in there. And then we'll go down there. There we go. Draw a little line. And then we'll draw his other legs. They got these really long legs. Watching a giraffe run is kind of entertaining. If you want to have your parents help you look up a video of a giraffe running, that's always fun to watch. They're not super graceful, because they're kind of an awkward size and shape. But they are so tall too. Like, I don't know if you know how tall they are, but they can be up to like 18 to 20 feet. That is super, super tall. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but a group of giraffes, let's do this before I get sidetracked. A group of giraffes is called a tower. That's pretty fitting, isn't it? A tower. Something that's super tall. And they generally are in a group of like 15 of them. Okay, I'm going to add a few little hairs in the ear maybe. There we go. And let's do these little horn things that you guys are going to research and find out for me. Why do giraffes have horns? Or whatever you call those things. All right, let's do that mouth over there. I'll have it kind of smiling more if I can. And that jowl right there. There we go. It's kind of hard sometimes, but it's okay if I mess up a little bit. All right, let's do this. Let's draw this eyeball now. This is where I have to focus. That wasn't the best eyeball I've drawn. But it's okay. It gets the idea across that that's an eyeball. Let's do this mane in the back. Another cool fact about giraffes is they don't drink a lot of water. It's probably good because where they're from and where they live doesn't usually have a ton of water available all the time. But they get most of what they need in terms of water through the plants that they eat. So the trees that they eat, the leaves, they give them the water that their bodies need. Should I do that? No, I'm not going to do that the one in the background. If you want to add that one in the back, you can do that for sure. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they don't have to drink a ton of water. I mean, that's probably really handy where they're from. And that sounds a lot like another animal that we drew. Can you think of which animal that was? What other animal eats leaves and twigs off of trees and really doesn't drink water? Like hardly ever. You know which one that is? I'll just go ahead and fill this in. It was the koala bear. Koala bear. I call it a koala bear. It's actually just a koala. We discussed this. It's not an actual bear. All right, I'm going to start erasing stuff because I think, am I at the right point for this? Yeah, I think I'm good. So now what I need to do is just start erasing all of my undersketch. So I'm going to add the spots with the colors, with my markers. But if you want to wait and see how I did the spots, you can just wait until after I reveal it and I've already done the coloring, and then you can pause it and take a look. Otherwise, have fun putting spots on here. That's something that you don't know. There's no right or wrong way there. Just put a bunch of spots on your giraffe and I'm sure it'll look fantastic. But okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start coloring. You go ahead and have fun coloring and think of a name for your giraffe, and I'll do the same. All right, we'll see you in a second. I think I am finished with all those spots. Those spots are really fun to draw. Did you guys figure out a name for your giraffe? Awesome. Well, I've decided that I'm gonna name mine Jeffrey. Jeffrey the giraffe. I think Jeffrey turned out really good, so I'm gonna sign my name here because I'm really proud of how it turned out, and hopefully you're proud of how yours turned out. But I'm really excited to see what you guys do, and make sure that you share that with me because you guys have been doing a great job of doing that so far. Just tell your parents to email us and send photos of your artwork, or you can go on Instagram and just tag us at Brave Kids Art Club, or use the hashtag Brave Kids Art Club, and that way I get a chance to see it, and so does everybody else. But again, we do this Monday through Friday every single week. Join us, subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And remember to be brave, be creative, and most importantly, be you. All right, we'll see you next time. Oh, wait, before you guys go, I wanted to show off some of your amazing artwork that you guys have submitted to me. Thank you guys so much for sending in your photos. I love looking at all the things you draw. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and I wanted to share it with everybody else, so not just with me. It's great that you send them to me, but I want to share them with everybody else as well, so enjoy.